I look like I've lost it. But I'm testing for demonic indwelling, okay? Because I'm thinking that the demon can't keep up. Okay, here we go. Ready? Alright, so with this one, this really freaky demon on my wrist comes out. And you can see it right there. Look at the nose of that thing sticking out of my wrist, guys. And this is really freaky and weird. By the way, I know a lot of people who don't know me might see this and ask if I've got like some sort of weird situation where I'm turning into a monster or doing weird stuff. As a result of this, I can tell you no, I'm actually a pretty normal person, but I've discovered that you can see demons with video in particular. I haven't been able to notice it with still photography, but I think it's the speed and the light and certain elements involved where you can see these life forms, which I believe are demons, but I will also be reasonable and say I do not know what it is exactly we are looking at. But what you can see here are what looks like changes in my flesh. These are not changes in my flesh. You see that big nose-like thing sticking out, and what looks like two eyes, and a teeth full of mouthful of jaggy teeth. This is not an actual change. What's happening is apparently, well, I know it's not a physical change because I know I'm not a physical shapeshifter, and some people have said it's DNA. And I do think that there are shapeshifters with enough DNA to shapeshift. I think that's definitely possible, but in this case, I'm a pretty aware person, and I would know if I was shapeshifting, and I'm not coming up here and telling you a lie about something. I do not physically shapeshift, and I would have noticed it. But what you see here are what appears to be physical changes. See, that's not the way my wrist looks at all. I mean, look at those lumps. You can see my watch there below, and then you see these weird eyes, and there's even a face above that face, but you can see what looks like almost like a bird beak, and these two eyes, and this is just so weird. And also, I don't notice anything strange on my wrist. I mean, I don't notice it, itching or, some weird sign language or something all of a sudden. I mean, this is just plain weird. I mean, I also got demons on the back of my head and my hair, which you'll see. I do not know, how these things affect the way you're thinking or whatever, but what I can tell you is that I'm a fairly normal person. I don't all of a sudden start talking like some crazy person, like you see some people on the street, or whatever. They start talking to themselves or speaking weird languages, or, waking up in the middle of the night with candles lit or something like that. I'm a pretty normal person, but you can see here this is definitely not normal, or at least it doesn't look normal. But according to demonologists, I don't know if that's a field, but the people who know about demons say that everybody has demons. Almost every problem we have can be related back to demons, from psychological problems to diseases. So this is a common thing. But look at this, man. I mean, this is so weird. I'm looking right at this now as I'm making this recording, and it just blows my mind how weird this is. I mean, this is sci-fi on a grand level, but this is on me. I mean, I'm seeing the eyes. You see those jaggy teeth? You see that inside that mouth? You can see it. And I'm going to talk more about this later in a separate video where I'm going to do some more in-depth discussion about what all this means. But what I've realized about these life forms, because you can see it has a mouth, it has teeth, is that they don't make any sense from our physical standpoint. That's the thing that's important to realize. If we try to think of it from our physical, logical terms, it's just not going to make sense, because you see misaligned eyes, you see these jaggy teeth, which, if you think about a living being, it wouldn't be able to eat properly with teeth like that. It's like these big cone-shaped teeth. So the idea that these creatures do not make sense from a physical standpoint as we know a living being highly lends itself to the idea that we're looking at what the Bible calls demons. And these creatures can apparently pile into a human being by the thousands. And Chris Lasala mentions that they can come in at various times. Other deliverance ministers have said that a certain trauma can cause demons to come into you. Other demons can be generational curses, according to some people who are experts in this field. So there's a lot about this I don't understand, but I will say that, like here on my arm, you see what looks like reptilian scales. These are features of a living being, but what may be happening is that the spirit body, such as described in Susan Reed's book, The Body Snatchers, where she describes reptilians who leave their physical body to attach themselves to a human being. It may be that somehow the camera picks up on the reality of that being living inside the person, because otherwise, looking at this, I would have said I'm a reptilian. But look at that face, guys. Look at that face on my wrist. Can you see the eyes? You see the eyes there? And the nose? Of course, that looks nothing like my wrist. You know, there's not that huge bulb sticking out and those weird shapes. What's happening is somehow what the camera sees distorts the flesh so that it's seeing and these faces, if you look at these faces, they look evil. They look like they have this maniacal grin. Like right there, it looks like an evil dinosaur beak man. You see the eye on the right, and those scales and those bumps reaching up. Look at the way it looks. You can see the eye, and you know it's really confusing. We don't know, obviously why this is occurring. God knows, but we don't know what it is and why this looks like this. But I mean, look at you see how distinct those eyes are, and that nose. It's like there's a living being right there in my wrist. That's my left wrist. You can see with the watch there. And obviously you don't see this in person, but it comes out in a motion shot or limited, lesser light video shot, and then I can catch more of it by going through it frame by frame and actually refilming the LCD as it shows up, and you can see it there. As you know, I'm not creating these forms, and they're too specific. Those bumps are clearly bumps of some kind. They're not. It's not just a blur from camera shake or something else. That's not paranormal. I mean, this is paranormal, no question about it. This is definitely on the weird side, and it's freaky. But I think what we're seeing here finally is proof that we can get with video that demons are real, and that they do occupy us, and that they do have all these weird facts about them, such as when these demons were occupying this one man that was by the seashore, and Jesus comes and they cry out, saying, let us go into these pigs, and the man was called Legion because the demons were many inside of him, which means that whatever these living beings are, they are able to pile in by the thousands. If you're watching this, it's not too late. Say this prayer now. Father in heaven, please save my soul by the work of your Son Jesus on the cross, and show me your pure words in the authorized King James Bible.